Hey guys, welcome in. We're outside today looking at Maxxloader parts and talking about what I've got going on and doing a little bit of test shooting. So this is obviously the Maxxloader itself. Quest, welcome in. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the first time chat. So I purchased this. This is one of the last units that has never seen a paintball field. This unit has only ever had a couple hundred rounds in it, and all of it was testing. It has a couple of upgrades in it. For one, I have a carbon fiber Archangel loading tube that came with it. And then everything else in it has been my... Everything, all the rest of the upgrades to this have been my own design. The first big one that I have been talking about and sold a bunch of recently are the new hose connectors. This is not my original design, but all of the CAD work and printing for these is. So these clamp on the tube as a two-piece, like that. And then the third piece, which is already on the hose, you pull up into place and just screw that right on to hold it tight. And then that tightens up by itself on the hose connector. This is the original thread, not designed. This particular model was not designed, these threads were not designed by me. But I have figured out what they are and have successfully redesigned those threads on some of the other parts. I'll show you guys here in a minute. The transfer tube, the vertical transfer tube pipe, I have a plastic one right here, or a printed one version that fits a little more snugly in the stock housing. But the reason I wanted to make one specifically is that I am rebuilding the entire top housing for this, for the secondary loader. Almost all of the internals in this I have 3D modeled, 3D scanned, and then 3D modeled, or did it the old-fashioned way with a set of calipers. So the one that's right here in the top of this unit is a replacement for the top two-piece with a whole bunch of washers and screws and metal discs and all kinds of stuff to hold it together. I replaced all of that with a single piece to simplify that. The bottom driver I did scan, but did most of the work by hand. So this is the square drive rod that runs to the top of the unit. And then in the bottom, there's the nubs that drive from the clutch. And then obviously the fins that push the paint in the bottom loader. So that one is also designed. I have the clutch itself also designed, but I need to do some testing on this and see if the strength, the bending strength of these arms is similar to the stock unit. But that again has all of the D-shaped holes for the shaft and everything else. And then obviously some easy parts, just the bottom drive that fits in there for the transfer rod to the top rotor. And then I wanted to show you guys some of the upgrades that I've been doing. One of the things that no one has available anymore is the wiring harness from the shoulder to the business end. But obviously this business end has a new end on it. So this is a standard industrial sensor. It's a standard plug. This is large because it's a field wireable unit. I'm looking to get this down into just a wired, non-field wireable unit. So that will become a standard small plug, similar to the original. a little bit more similar to the original in size, where it's just the plug and the cap on there, where they just plug together and screw on. But they are, show you guys the insides, why they're so big. You can field wire 4 wires into that plug. So I picked these up from an electronics friend, who was gracious enough to try to give them to, or was helpful enough to try to give them to me for free, and I some cash for those. But these are standard industrial sensor fittings, wiring. The original, we actually can't figure out what the thread, what the sizing is on these original wires, and we're going to get away from this. Not only are they non-standard in male, female, this cable running from the shoulder to the original business end, both ends of this were female, definitely non-standard. So getting rid of that and moving to some new cables, some new fittings, some standard easily replaceable parts for that. This is this pigtail. To replace this will be 4 little solder points right on the inside on the motherboard, or I guess this is the daughter board. It's 4 little solder points, and as long as you get the colors right and in order, everything's fine. It took me about 5 minutes to put this pigtail on, and then close it back up. So this is all stock. I did nothing to the inside of this other than do a complete electrical schematic of the daughter board itself, and then, like I said, put this pigtail on in about 5 minutes. So this I can still put on. You can put this on any speedball gun, as you would normally. But the fun thing that I've done for myself that I will have available soon, that we're going to test out today, is this mag fed attachment. So this is based on the Dydam mag. It's actually about the same size as I think a 10 rounder. I grabbed this model off of Thingiverse, did a whole bunch of cleanup work to it because it really wasn't that great in STL form. And then there is a microphone in the top. So this magazine, instead of turning it on with a standard infrared LED eyeball system, this is turned on, is activated by a microphone in the top, which that took some figuring out. This daughter board does not return a positive voltage signal to the motherboard. It returns a negative signal, which means that it grounds out the signal wire. Instead of putting voltage in, it drops it to 0. And then the override button on the side is to trip it's wired into the plug on the microphone, but it overrides it just shorts out 2 of the cables, the same as the microphone does, but it does it manually so that you can use this button to fill the hose and the whole system without having to sit there and fire the gun numerous times, the paintball marker numerous times to get it to fill up. Because obviously the original had the infrared eyes where you just turn it on and it automatically fills all the way up until the eyes are solid. So that's the manual button to fill it all the way up. And I can show you guys the mag sits just below the mag well on EMF 100, just within thumb usability spacing. So we'll test that out here in a minute. Rexy, thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you for the 6 months of subscription. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by. All subscription money, bits, donations, all of that stuff goes back into the stream. Helps support me, specifically streaming. I've bought some of the cameras, actually this one, with money that came in for streaming. And some of it goes to renting the hotspot when I go to games, like Gangsters in Paradise a couple of weekends ago. renting the hotspot for Fulda in November and some of the other games I go out to. So thank you for your support. And thank you for the link to the Discord. That's where we hang out offline. The workshop is a virtual makerspace where we show off what we're working on, look for help if we need it, and goof off in the memes channel. Yeah, Quest, this is where a lot of my stuff starts is, hey, I want that, and it doesn't exist. So that's kind of where a lot of my stuff starts is, hey, I want that. And then once I do all the CAD work and the printing and the prototypes and the test, I've told a few people about it. Usually my stuff, I'm a little biased, but usually my stuff's kind of cool. So usually by the time I get it all done, somebody wants it. Or I post it in some of the Facebook groups saying, hey, this is, my custom stuff that I've built, and somebody wants it. So I throw it up on the Ko-fi, which, as Rexy just linked, is right there. So that is where I am currently selling the tubing connectors, and some of these other parts will be up for sale here shortly. I just need the FDM versions of all of these parts, I could put up for sale immediately, but I'm not super thrilled with, finish, and to be honest, I don't really want to be printing all of these. So I will be going back to my vendor and getting these done in SLS nylon, the same as I did for the hose connectors, and that way they will come out as solid nylon parts that you don't have to worry about playing out a hot day or leaving Maxxloader in the car if you're driving home in Texas in June and there's not a cloud in the sky. Your Maxxloader parts are not going to melt in the car. So I'm going to get quotes for all of those pieces in nylon, and we'll have all of the replacement pieces for this available here soon. I am getting ready to test a new hose as well. I know there's a few options out there that people have figured out, but I am looking to make a kit that will come with a hose and two hose connectors. I do have the stock one up here at the shoulder, but this one has been replaced. I have another one to drop in here as well. As soon as I get this whole top end replaced, then I'll switch both ends and kind of wrap this thing up. I do also have a lid model. There was some interest in the group from someone that needed one. So I do have lids available if anybody needs a Maxxloader lid. I do not have any catches. So if you broke your lid, I can replace that if you use your existing hardware. If you need the hardware, that is still something I'm working on. Probably in the next 2 weeks, I'll have some catch options. I think what I'm going to do is just a custom stainless steel catch, same dimensions and everything as the original. 18, probably 20 gauge stainless, 304 stainless steel. And then I can look at getting them anodized or painted or whatever. Any plans to make a feed tube from the bottom feeder to the top? Actually, as I was showing off a couple of minutes ago, I have the stock one still in the box. I actually, like I said, I bought this basically brand new. I have the stock tube, but Archangel Mike occasionally makes a run of carbon fiber tubes. So if you need a transfer tube, see if Archangel Mike has any left, or if he would have somebody that can do that for you. So I could figure out what these are, and see if I can find a tubing replacement. But it's going to be very similar to the original in some sort of clear-ish PVC, maybe colored PVC. Fells, welcome in. We are actually absolutely making trouble in here. We do have an ad break starting here in a minute. I am going to not say anything important this time during ad breaks. So for those of you that are not subscribed and are going to get thrown into ads, I do appreciate you watching them. It does help support the stream with a little bit of extra ad revenue. But we will pause all the important conversation while that's going on. Yeah, Quest, if you need a lid, if you have, like I said, if you have hardware, I have lids, I can get them made. I did get one made, and there is someone with it in Indiana or something. But I can absolutely get you another one. I can get in contact with my vendor and go get another one printed. If you want to hit the Discord, that is the easiest way to get in touch with me. Or if you drop over to the website, operationeffects.com, or the Ko-fi, there's a couple different ways to get in contact with me. But the Ko-fi or the Discord are absolutely the two easiest. But if you're interested, I will just go ahead and post the lid for sale, and then you can check out the Ko-fi. It's going pretty well, Bells. We're showing off some of the stuff I've made for the Maxxloader. This is a backpack loading system for paintball. Holds somewhere around 2,000 rounds, a whole case. And showing off some of the pieces I've made for this. The MagFed attachment, which is brand new. Some of the electronics that I've been making for the ends. And then, again, some of the prototypes that I'm getting ready to put up for sale. Some of these the clutch pieces, the bottom loader. Some of the pieces I've completely replaced with single pieces. So this one's actually in here as a single piece 3D replacement. Thank you for the hydrate and stretch, Bells. I'll probably get that right after I get off stream. So we have a 2-minute ad break. We're not going to say anything important. But if you guys have any questions for those of you that are in here, otherwise, we'll just wait for everybody to get back. I am going to go ahead and dump some more rounds in here. I've got about 250 right now. And I can show you guys, back this wiring back up. I can show you guys this thing running. I did charge the battery last night. I was having some problems testing last night because the battery was dead. But let's see here. See if we can get this to hit on. So if you guys are not familiar with this Maxxloader device, the paintballs sit inside the case. There is a bottom loader that feeds into this corner up the transfer tube, which I've shown you guys a couple of times. Okay, Forsack, welcome in. Through the elbow and into a top loader. Now the top loader is connected via an aluminum rod to the bottom. So the bottom and the top loaders spin at the same time. And then it feeds out through this corner tube into the feed tube, which runs down your arm and normally would terminate in the business end. But obviously I have the MagFed attachment on here. We're going to turn this on here when everybody gets back from ads. We'll take a look. All right, we should be back from ads. Thank you guys again for watching those. It helps support the stream. Just going over the basics of the unit for everyone that it may not be familiar with it. But we are going to turn this on and use the override button. There we go. Turned on. And we're having the same problem I had last night. And it quits after 30 seconds. Well, this is going to be a very poor test. I think there may be another signal wire that I need to run, but this did all work on the bench top. There we go. Now we got paint spewing out. So obviously that loaded all the way up to the mag. It has no problem getting around this bend here and all the way up. You see, I don't have the lid on so that I can show you guys, but I do have my EMF 100 here. This is my daily driver. This is a custom one-off HK416 body that I made. Fairly heavy when I'm on a box